Have you ever wondered if we all perceive the world in the same way? Or is it possible that our language shapes our reality? One answer to this question can be found in the Sapir-Whorf hypothesis. It contends that the language we speak influences how we think. Support for this theory has been found in studies of how people of different languages perceive color. In one experiment, researchers traveled to northern Namibia to interview members of the Himba tribe, who only have 5 words to describe color in their native Ojihimba. Take a look at these color rectangles. Can you see the difference between them? When distinguishing between green and blue, English speakers have 2 different lexical category boundaries, while Ojihimba speakers lack our blue-green distinction. Research shows that we can perceive an infinite number of colors, even though our languages do not account for all of them. However, our respective color terms can influence how easily we can perceive difference in colors.
Russian has 2 words for blue. One is for dark blue and one is for light blue. And you say, well, that's weird. It has 2 words. What about red and pink? In English, we have red and pink. Okay, so when you have people sort colors, and the Russian speakers, they will tend to separate the light blues from the dark blues and put them in a different pile, even though their vision isn't any different. Whereas English speakers will tend to lump them together. And I believe Japanese has one word that covers both green and blue, and they will lump all those together, and English speakers will separate them.
Although color terms affect cognition, it is important to note that having more categories of color does not make a language superior to others. Another area of interest to researchers is how our language affects our perception of space. Such experiments have been conducted with the Tinahapan Mayans of Mexico.
It turns out that this language, Celtal, which is spoken in Mexico, doesn't have words for left and right. It doesn't have in fact, they talk about spatial relations in terms of uphill and downhill. The village is on a mountainside, on a hillside, so the directions it's always, my house is uphill from yours, or the cow is uphill from the fence, that kind of thing. So it's uphill, downhill, and across. And actually, as Lila Gleitman pointed out, this is the way people talk about the geography of Manhattan as well. So it's not so completely weird, right? In Manhattan, it's downtown, uptown, and crosstown are the directions. They don't talk north, south, and east, west.
In 1955, a group of psychologists developed an artificial language called Lojban to further test the Sapir-Whorf hypothesis. Dubbed the logical language, Lojban was based purely on the principles of logic so that speakers would be able to communicate unambiguously. For example, spelling is completely phonetic, capitalization is rare, and all punctuation is spoken in words. Terms such as many, enough, too much, and few are all expressed in numbers. Proper nouns, or shmene as they're called in Lojban, must end with a consonant and a pause, and be penultimately stressed. Depicted is an example of the Lojbanization of standard American names. Such standardization demonstrates the unique nature of Lojban's structure and its adherence to semantic clarity. Although today there are no people in the world who speak Lojban as their mother tongue, the mere existence of such a language is a topic of much intrigue. However, we must consider that all natural languages contain some ambiguity. For instance, homonyms, or words that are spelled the same but have different meanings, occur in every natural language. Wouldn't Sapir-Whorf argue, then, that ambiguity is part of natural human thought? Does Lojban's elimination of ambiguity also eliminate an element of humanity from language?
A lot of the differences in language and differences in vocabulary are a question of culture. So, if Eskimos have a lot of words for snow, that's actually dubious. It's a factoid or urban legend. But if they do, it's because they deal with snow more than we do. So skiers have more words for snow than non-skiers like me. We have lots more words for software than the Eskimos, and we have lots more words for software than we did 50 years ago. Well, that vocabulary is built because we have certain needs for things we need to talk about. We invent words. So the language is following the culture rather than the other way around.
We all perceive the same visual reality, but may have different ways of rationalizing it. The truth is not as drastic as Sapir and Whorf believed. In this case, a rose by any other name would smell as sweet.